Hi class, I want to give you a little bit of guidance on how to complete week 3's discussion, as it's a little bit different than some of the other week's prompts. If we scroll down to the prompt, it reads, "What is your proposed thesis statement for your upcoming assignment, and what evidence could you include to support your statement? Refer to the learning activity visual aids this week on thesis statements and the quote sandwich for guidance." So, what you're going to be doing is you are going to be preparing for your reading response by making a draft of a thesis statement. It's important to remember that this discussion activity is meant to help prepare you for the assignment. You're not supposed to complete the assignment and then cut and paste your thesis statement into this for two reasons. Number one, this draft of your thesis statement is due by Thursday, where the assignment is not due till Monday. Secondly, you can use this discussion as an opportunity to help you refine and better your thesis statement, so you'll be ready on the second half of the week to complete your assignment. So, in order to complete this prompt, in order to answer this and come up with a draft of your thesis statement, we have to travel and go read the assignment directions for the reading response. Okay, so if we look down, what it says in the directions is select and read an article from this week's University Library readings. In order to complete the discussion, you're going to have to do that. Okay, and then what you're going to do is prepare to write a reading response. You're going to answer what's your opinion on the reading? Do you agree or disagree? And what is one or two reasons that support your opinion? And what is your thesis statement? So in effect, this preparation we're going to be doing for our discussion. Actually, writing the reading response won't be done and won't be due until Monday's reading response assignment is due. So let's take a look at these University Library readings. So here are the different reading response articles. Okay, so you can skim through and look at the different titles and decide one that works best for you. Okay, so I'm going to click on this, Smartphone Dumber You. And what it's going to do is it's going to open an article for me to read. If I scroll down, I can listen to this one or I can read it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the entire article and then I'm going to think, do I agree or disagree with the author's perspective? And I need to think of one or two reasons to support that. So let's go back here and look at, there's a few different tools to help us with our thesis statement. So this is in, just so you know, the week 3 learning activities. There is a thesis writing material to help us. So what you should do is read through this and it will help you with creating your thesis. So you need to either agree or disagree, and you need to think of one or two reasons why. So when you go to write your thesis statement, you're going to put that together. So let's look at this example. Nicholas Carr's, that's the author's, point of view is Google making us stupid? That's the article name, is correct. So there, the writer is saying that he or she agrees with the author. Because smartphone technology shortens attention span, that's one reason, and was made to be addictive by design. That's the second reason. Okay, so you need to come up with whether you agree or disagree and one or two reasons that prove your point of view. Notice that this is a short sentence. It has the name of the author, the article title, and it has whether the author agrees or disagrees, and it has two reasons. Okay, so usually you want your topic, your stance, and your reasons of support. Those are the three ingredients for a good thesis statement. You don't need to write I think or I believe in that because we already know that you're expressing your point of view. So, one last tip. Let's go back to the discussion and take a look. Okay, you're going to remember you're going to write your draft of your thesis statement. Okay, and you're going to think about what evidence you could use to support that thesis statement. Were there quotes in your article that support what you think? Can you find other quotes that support what you think? The final thing to keep in mind is that when you reply to your classmates, you're not really supposed to be commenting on whether you agree or disagree with your classmates' assessment of the article. You're supposed to be helping him or her with the thesis statement. Okay, is the thesis statement effective? Why or why not? Is the evidence that the person, that your classmate has provided, is it good evidence? Why or why not? What tips could you give your classmate on making the thesis statement better or finding better evidence? Or why is the thesis statement that your classmate has written great? Or why is the evidence great? So make sure you're addressing the thesis statement and the evidence rather than the content of the article. And again, when we're providing feedback, it's important to be constructive and professional. We want to make sure that we're not being overly critical, that we're actually being helpful and using a proper tone to do so. So again, please, like anything else, if you have any questions, reach out and ask me. You can send a private message to me, or you could ask me a question in the course questions thread right here. So private messages up here or course questions. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video.